I'm Aiman, and welcome back to one of my DIY repair videos. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace the double burner switch for a Samsung 5.9 cubic foot stainless steel freestanding range. We've done a video similar to this on this triple burner. Go check that out if you're interested. It's a bit of a longer video because we had a few connectivity issues with the connectors, so if you're interested, go check that out. But the procedure is pretty simple. To explain the problem, so this is supposed to have two settings, one where it turns on this burner and another where it turns on this sort of extended burner, and that's so that you can have both of these burners on and use like a griddle on it. The problem that we're experiencing is that even if we have the just lone one on, both of them turn on, and it also turns on at max heat, which it's obviously not supposed to do if it's at a low setting. So that's the problem we're experiencing. You might be experiencing it too. And usually what the solution to this is that, usually what the cause of this problem is that the switch itself is malfunctioning. It might be the burner itself, but usually this problem is the switch. Unfortunate for a $2,000 range and kind of expensive to replace the button, but thankfully it easily repaired. Let's get right into it. First thing you want to do is unplug the oven, flip the breaker, make sure that there's no electrocution risk, and take off the back panel using these 5 screws. Your panel might fall out, so feel free to hold on to it when you do the last screw. This just comes off. Now we can access the back panel, or the back of the panel. So just real quick, this is for the triple burner. This is for the single burner in the back. This is for the single burner in the back. And then this is for the extended burner. If you're not sure, just look at the diagrams in the front. See, this one is definitely, the leftmost one is definitely for the extended burner, or the double burner. The middle one is for the control panel. What we're going to do is replace this one. So we bought it on Amazon. If you buy a genuine one, it's really expensive. It's about $150. Yeah, a very expensive part. That's why we actually took so long to replace it. It's been a year since it's been broken. But we bought it aftermarket on Amazon for about $70. We'll link it down in the description below if you want to buy it. It's actually in here. Let's take it out real quick. Got to look at what we're dealing with and compare it with the part that we're taking out. So here it is. So it says here that the top that's where it's oriented. Okay, and literally all we're going to do is just take out these wires and replace it with these ones. If you're not sure, you can take a picture beforehand if you're worried about forgetting it, or you can just look later in this video. But I'm pretty sure it's physically impossible to plug this the wrong way. Also, if you want to look up the part, you can look up using this part number on the side, PAR00112D. I think D stands for double. And we'll also put it down in the description down below if you're interested in buying it. Or if you're interested in finding it, we'll put a link to its Amazon page on the comments down below if you want to buy it. Okay, so let's make sure that it's facing the top. I'm going to take out this left one first, then this bottom one. And also, as you're taking these out, make sure that you're not pulling on the wire, but just on the harnesses themselves, because you don't want us to rip the wire out. Then wiggle this black one out. So this white one is the one that we had trouble with on the other switch. So we're going to try to pull it out this time and see if we're experiencing the same thing. So we are experiencing the same sort of difficulty in pulling it out. So if you're having trouble, you can try to pry it out But to give yourself a bit of further room to work on the switch, we can take out the knob. Actually, this is a step you should do, like, aside from taking it out from the back, is you want to take the knob off, because you're going to end up taking this part out anyway. Take the knob off, and take these 2 screws out. Yeah, let's get this towel here so I don't scratch my mom's stovetop. Now we can take it out. You can do that before you replace all the wiring, by the way. I just did it because I was getting ahead of myself. Okay. Yeah, this one's a bit of a toughie. I'm going to try not to destroy it too much, but even if I do, it's simple to fix. Okay, that was a bit too fast. Let me just check to make sure I didn't break it anywhere. It looks like nothing is snapped. So I guess it just had a really tight grip on that switch. Not sure for what reason. But the only thing that will confirm if it's broken or not is if we plug it in and if it fits incorrectly. Okay, so it's still kind of loose. So that means it's not grabbing on properly. Let me just double check that I'm plugging it in the wrong place. I mean the right place. Yeah, I'm still plugging it in the right place. So what you can do is you can take any sort of thin metal, any thin rigid like rod or needle nose pliers, and sort of crimp these metal connectors so that they're a bit closer together and more tighter. You can even do it in the middle as well. Okay. Let's hope that one solves our problems. There we go. Okay. So if you're worried about it still coming loose, you can always tape them together, these 2 cables, so that they're all like anchored together. But now that they're all rewired, we want to make sure that the top is again facing the top side. Is it focusing? Yeah, make sure that the top is facing the top and loop it back too. Then we have to screw it back on. So line it up and put the screw in. Okay. And then let's do the other one. Okay. Now I want to put the knob back on. You want to look at the sort of shape of this hole. There's a little nub at the top. That corresponds to the groove on this shaft. So this has a groove here. And if you look on the other side, which I can't really twist it, but on the other side, there's not that same groove. There's a little bump. So my theory is that this bump will go on this top rail. Let's give it a try. And my thought process is that it should lock at the top if it's the right orientation. And then it shouldn't lock here at the bottom. Actually, let me test that now. Let me try putting it the other way. Yeah, so if you put it the wrong way, it's gonna lock at the bottom, which it shouldn't do. All right, so let's take it out. Put it back the proper way. There we go. Oh. It appears that if you put it the wrong way, that it doesn't lock in place anymore. Alright, so my theory is that there's a little spring there that's, well, it's not really a spring, but it's like a little tab. And due to the properties of metal, it acts kind of like a spring. And so what I'm going to do is sort of bend it out using a rigid piece of metal and sort of shape it so that it still acts like a spring. Then take this and put it back on. And I hope that works. Okay, so may or may not return it, but for now what we've decided on is that the little spring tab, if we bend it into a U shape and sort of get it to lock in place, we can get the knob to stay on. Yeah, just showing you that it does stay on. That was scary, but hey, it works as a knob now, and there shouldn't be any problems with it. And I just showed you that you can make the knob a bit, you can make the shaft not go on the knob. So we experienced a problem with that one. Similar with this one. Hope you don't encounter this problem when you're fixing your oven or range, but at least I did it so that you don't have to make the same mistake. Okay. Anyway, last step is to put the panel back on. Make sure that this caved in part is facing towards the back. Line up the 5 screw holes. And screw it back on. So yeah, it's a pretty simple repair. After this, what you want to do is you want to plug the oven back in, turn the breaker on, and test it to make sure that it's behaving properly. It's a pretty simple repair. I'm not sure how the video is going to be edited, but we did it in pretty much one take except for that issue with the knob. So this job pretty much takes like 5 to 10 minutes. So not too hard of a repair, thankfully. I think if it was a harder repair, it would be kind of shameful for a $2,000 appliance. Especially given that this is a very common problem with a lot of ranges. But anyway, alright, let me just make sure that's lined up properly. Okay. There we go. Whew. Now it's slid properly in. Anyway, that's what I was saying, yeah. Pretty fast job. Shouldn't be too hard to do. If this video helped you do the same job, replacing that double burner switch, let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in also replacing the triple burner, I have a separate video on that. That's actually the first video that we did, where it's pretty much the same process. But go check that out if you're interested. We experienced a few different problems with that one. And if you experienced any problems with this or have any suggestions for the process that might help other people who are doing the same job, feel free to add it in the comments down below. And, you know, always helpful to have dialogue happening to help other people who are doing similar DIY stuff. But for now, I'm Aiman. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at other videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the videos on DIY repairs. And all the other videos in this series that we've done on this freestanding range. Whew. Now we're going to test it. But for now, I'm Aiman, and signing out. Peace.
Kita tak boleh tekan on ke tangan. Apa boleh? gini juga.
This door. If you look right here behind the drawer, you can see all the important manufacturer information, including the model number. But one way you can get leverage is to pull out the bottom drawer and get your hands on the bottom rim below the oven. That's a pretty secure place to get it. It's a very stable place. And then pull. Just like that. And if your feet are stuck, for example, the oven feet, sometimes they're like basically glued to the floor after a lot of years, you just grab and you pull up. All right, so now I want you guys to get a close look at how everything is wired. This video might be helpful if you're in the middle of repairs and you forgot how everything was wired. I think the genuine one is $180. We got this aftermarket. I think it's about $70. So if you really need to replace this, definitely recommend Amazon. Okay, so not sure what really happened, but my theory is that when we plugged it in, this metal contact sort of caved in. We were actually plugging it in between the contact and the plastic. And even if the contact itself is not tight enough, it's easy to fix with a needle nose plier to sort of tighten that up and squeeze it in, grip it in more. But now when we plug it in, we have a pretty tight fit. But now that they're all rewired, we want to make sure that the top is again facing the top side. Is it focusing? Yeah. Make sure that the top is facing the top. And loop it back too. Then we have to screw it back on. Oh. Wrong door. This door. If you look right here behind the drawer, you can see all the important manufacturer information, including the model number and the serial number.